significantly than the weaker dose, or was there effect at all doses?
Yeah, I mean, at the low dose, it has some effect at the beginning, and after that, the tumor start growing.
Again?
Yep. But at the higher dose, we can completely, the tumor finally will be gone.
And you had significant LD50 results?
Yep.
Now, LD50 means the lethal dose which will kill 50% of the tumor cells after the tumor has been injected. And these were, it showed a good, strong effect.
Yeah, because before we go to the animal model, we have to get that results first to make sure that in the in vitro system, it does kill that type of cancer.
Okay,
yeah.
So the LD50 is referable to the in vitro studies,
yep.
where you can clearly count the
yep.
size of the cell culture. And then when you inject into the animals, you observe the reduction in size of the tumor, is that correct?
Yes.
And when you are measuring the tumors, do you measure in very small amounts, millimeters?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you see with the tumors in these mice that were in the test group?
In the test group, once we inject, the tumor get a bit bigger, and after that, it will start regression in the size.
Okay.
Yep.
Now that regression took place over what period of time?
The one that works very well, just a week.
In 1 week there was tumor regression?
Yeah, tumor regression.
Now in some of the photos which I saw, it appeared to me that to the naked eye, the tumor was completely gone.
Yeah, that one, yep.
So there was complete removal of the tumor?
Yep, until we can't measure.
Until you were unable to measure, and you were using millimeters.
Yep.
So it had to be extremely small if the tumor was still present.
Yep.
That's very exciting. Now, I understand that you have studied the mangosteen previously back home in Thailand. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And that you are on the faculty of the School of Medicine.
Yes.
And what is your disciplinary study? What degree did you receive and where?
I obtained a PhD from the University of New South Wales.
So you did your postgraduate PhD studies in Australia?
Yep, Australia.
So you have undergraduate degrees in Thailand?
In Thailand, yeah.
Did you do a master's in Thailand?
Yep.
So you did your master's and your undergraduate in Thailand?
Yeah.
And then you went to Australia?
Yeah.
And that's why you speak such good English?
Oh, thank you.
But you have also studied in other countries, is that not correct?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
Where have you gone?
Oh, I have been to Japan.
To Japan?
Yep.
And how much time, probably you went several times, I think.
Yep, almost every year.
Almost every year. And so in total, how long did you study in Japan?
Maybe 13 months.
About 13 months?
Yep.
Good. And where did you study?
In Hiroshima University.
And that's a very prestigious university?
Yeah, and also Yamaguchi University.
As well. So in 2 universities.
Yep.
Well, this is interesting because the world of science is becoming very small. Researchers now are able to go to many different countries to study the same kinds of phenomena. And so Dr. Watanapoka-san, or we could call her Dr. Ramita, which is easier for me. And in Thailand, in fact, it is appropriate to call a doctor by her first name.
Yep.
So Dr. Ramita has studied both in Thailand. She is on the staff of a medical school in Thailand, in fact, at the university which has done the greatest number of studies on the mangosteen. She has studied in Japan, and she has also studied and obtained her PhD, her doctorate, from Australia. Now, you're going back home for the first time in a year.
Yep.
And you're going to enjoy yourself, I would imagine, getting back to your family.
Yes.
She has made a great sacrifice in that she has stayed away from her family for over a year in order to be able to do this study. So she'll be going back home. But she isn't going to stay long. I understand that you're going someplace in April, is that correct?
Yes.
And that we're not certain how long you'll stay there, but where are you going to go?
I'm going to the Vienna Medical School in Austria.
So you're going to the Vienna Medical School in Austria.
Yep.
And you're going to study cancer in the mangosteen there?
Yep.
What type of cancer will you be studying?
It's going to be the skin cancer.
So you're going to look at dermatological
Yeah, dermatological,
cancers.
yep.
Great. That is going to be exciting.
Yep.
Now, you need to know that when she came to America, Dr. Ramita was a Fulbright scholar. This is an honor that is relatively rare. And she studied at what I would consider to be the most prestigious medical school in the United States. I'm sorry that I'm not going to say the name of it because I'm afraid there would be too many contacts. But she has studied at the most prestigious medical school in the United States. She has studied at prestigious medical schools in Australia. She is on staff at a prestigious medical school in Thailand. She has been in Japan studying, and she is now going to go to Vienna in Austria and study dermatological cancers and the mangosteen. Now, Dr. Ramita, as a researcher, and a researcher is not involved directly in clinical care, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So you do most of your work in laboratories?
Yes, in laboratory.
So how does the results of your investigations, how does that get into the medical field eventually?
Eventually, actually, I mean, the next step, after the in vitro experiment,
Yes.
and then in vivo in mice,
Yes.
next step is going to be clinical trial in human.
In humans.
Yep.
So that you would develop a compound representative of what you have been using,
Yep.
and then it would go to clinical trials in humans.
Yep.
And then if the results are good, that's when we might see a
See.
drug,
Yeah.
which would come from your studies.
Yes, that's correct.
Well, that's fascinating.
Yep. But it's going to take time. Yeah.
Oh, yes, it
Yep.
will take time.
Yep.
And do you enjoy studying natural products?
Oh, yeah, very much. I mean, I'm interested in all the natural product. And it is very good because, it can help many other people.
Yes,
Yep.
especially in Thailand where
Yeah.
the mangosteen is common.
Yep.
Now, there is a traditional medical history that goes back centuries in Thailand
Yes.
for the use of the mangosteen. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
When you were a child,
Yeah.
did you use the mangosteen?
I guess yes. Maybe I have. Yep, I have used it.
And it would have been your grandmother or your
Yeah.
mother who would have told you about how to use it?
Yep.
And lemongrass and many other herbs are used
Yes.
medicinally within the Thai culinary area,
Yes.
so that your foods are prepared
Yeah.
with many herbs in them.
Yep. Many herbs in there.
Yeah. I was looking at a study not too long ago that indicated that Thailand has one of the lowest levels of cancer in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there could be many reasons for this,
Yes.
but possibly we do know that eating properly and eating and using herbs and whole foods that contain the kinds of nutrients that our body requires to protect us against disease, including cancer, that this is important. And that is, in my mind, the probable reason why the Thai population has